On the night of Jesus being arrested, the Bible shows that he would be considered among the lawless. And how that would be done was by his disciples having swords with them, which they did. And even Peter used it to cut off the ear of the servant of the priest, Malchus. And then what did Jesus tell him? Put that sword away, for those who live by the sword will die by the sword. You see, so Jesus even healed that ear of that servant, did he not? But Jesus showed in that statement the result of living by weapons. That when you live by the weapons, your society does not become more secure, but becomes more death-dealing. So we come 2,000, almost 2,000 years later to our time. No one's really using the sword anymore. Some do. But mostly it's the most high powerful weapons that humans have ever seen. Even military-style weapons that people carry in civilian life. Not engaged in military weaponry, but right in the public, carrying these type of weapons and able to open carry, be able to use it when they think that they are in fear of their life. And so they have a society that lives by the sword, that lives by the weapon. And what has been the result? You know the result. You know how it works out. I mean, on top of this situation, they have no robust death penalty, which Genesis chapter 9, verse 5 and 6 shows is allowed. Romans 13 shows that governments can employ that to maintain the order. But instead of that, they put people in jail, hand over a bill to the taxpayers who were victimized to take care of such ones, and therefore do not produce a strong deterrent against further crimes. And so you have this perfect storm of violence and killing. Young people not even getting a chance to live a life, being cut down without any chance to really enjoy life. It's just a sad, sad situation. You don't know if you go to the store what can happen. Or you go out there, somebody gets mad because they think you cut them off or whatever, you did something not wrong. And they ain't showing no mercy. Now, while the government is showing mercy about no death penalty, these ones ain't showing no mercy. You can make one mistake and they may bring out their guns, start shooting. And then on top of that, the hatred that's fomented even by leaders, that they marinate everyone, that try to marinate everybody in and then give them all these guns. The perfect storm. And think about it. We know that Satan is the god of the system of things. Him and his demons, they enjoy these things, these mass murders, these mass killings. Think about what happened when they went when Jesus allowed them to go into the swine, almost 2,000 swine. What happened? They drove them off the cliff into the water, killed them all. This is what appeals to them, is these killings, these mass killings. And it's sad. It's just really sad. I mean, people are going about their ordinary life, and then somebody goes out of their mind, or not really out of their mind, just evil, just starts shooting them and killing people. And, people walk around in pride and arrogance, like they got the power, they got the guns, they can kill, they can decide who lives and who dies. And again, the Bible shows in Numbers 35:33, this is what pollutes the land. This is what pollutes, ruins the earth, the spilling of innocent blood. And how many bodies will pile up before the end of the system, I don't know. Whereas indeed, the Bible shows that we're going to face a great tribulation which no man has ever experienced. So, and then of course you have a community, a money-making community in the midst of all this that feeds off the selling of guns and the killing of people, because the more the guns are used in war and elsewhere, the more guns they can sell, the more money they can make. So they ain't concerned about human life, they're concerned about money, making money. And we see how the love of money stabs one over with many pains. It stabs society over with many deaths because the love of money is more important than doing what is right. So whenever anybody is promoting guns and that type of thing, they're promoting a more insecure society, a society that's more violent, society of death. That's what they're advocating. And so Jesus' words are fulfilled, and they will continue to be fulfilled because the world is a wicked place full of hate, no love, and we see it has a civilian war, a civilian arms race that's going on that will never end well. And where it will lead time, how more violent it will lead, more violence it will lead to, time will tell and show. So what about us and Christians? What about Christians when it comes to guns? Well, Jesus said, put the weapon away. So then if Christians are promoting, if one's claiming to be Christian, they're promoting guns, that shows they ain't who they say they are. They're not of Christ. That's not what Christ said. Christ said, put the weapon away. And you sitting in front of a Christmas tree and your whole family got guns, even the little ones. That just shows you ain't of Christ. You're speaking the words of the world. You're doing the dealings of the devil. That's what you're doing. Now, Christians do not live by the carnal weapons. That's not their weapon. Their weapon is, as 2 Corinthians 10, verse 4 says, spiritual weapons. The weapons of truth, faith, and righteousness. All the good things that the Bible speaks. That's their weapons to conquer this world that has all these weapons. This world, they think that the weapons is what will save them. But Jesus said, do not fear the one who can kill the body, but the one who can kill the soul. In other words, do not fear the person can kill you by the gun really has no power. Because as long as God keeps you in his memory, then your life, your soul, will one day be resurrected and brought back. And so the gun really did not have the power that they wanted to have. So Christians, they must focus on the spiritual weapons and must go forth in battle in a world full of wolves who have guns and speak the truth of God's word and expose their wicked ways and their gun culture. So if we think about it and understand, we can see that God is completely against this gun culture that's going on today. And the many people that have died, it's sad. And they talk about thoughts and prayers all the time. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. Who are you praying to? Why will he listen to you when you don't put away the weapons like he told you to? He ain't going to listen to you. You're doing what's wrong. Now, he may bring comfort to that family because of what you did to them. But as far as this world, and they're looking for this solution for guns by thoughts and prayer, God not listening to you because you ain't listening to him, what he told you and what he said through his son Jesus to put those weapons away. No, we can see this gun culture will continue until Jesus' words are fulfilled in the book of Luke, where they'll be faint out of fear, not knowing the way out. They will have bottlenecked themselves, brought themselves cornered in a situation they can't get out of. And why? Because they failed to do what's right, all because of money, because of their greed. But may it be so that God will comfort those who have suffered, and may he bring protection at the right time in this gun culture. So we look forward to a new world where the exquisite delight of peace will be there. And the evidence of that, the weapons won't be there. As Isaiah chapter 2 tells us, such weapons will be turned into weapons of, rather than being for destruction, for construction. Because when you have a weapon and you need a weapon, that means that you don't have peace. That's the first indication that your world's in trouble, has a problem. But in this new world that God is going to make, weapons will be are gone. They'll be put away permanently. And nations will feed not on hate, but on love for one another. They have love. They won't be feeding on this tribal garbage that they keep talking about, this racism, all this wicked imagination of hatred. The world won't feed on that anymore. But they'll feed on, instead of the wormwood, rivers of hatred and propaganda by this world, as shown in Revelation 8th chapter, they'll be drinking the pure waters from God that will allow them to express proper love towards one another. And instead of hate, they'll replace it with peace and considering each other as family member. Now, won't that be nice to be able to live in a world where you don't even have to even worry. You can go anywhere in the world and be accepted as a family member. Now, what a change, what a drastic change it is from what we have today. But that's what God said, that's his will. And we know you can have all the guns you want, all the military you had, just like Pharaoh of Egypt had. Pharaoh had all that might. All went down in the Red Sea. So it shows that when God has a purpose, you ain't going to stop it. It's going to happen. And so for those who have faith, who remain faithful, they'll continue to pray to God and rely on him in spite of the wicked gun culture as they look forward to the new world of God's making.